This is Tamisha Rogers. Some of you are asking how to do or modify some of the flyers. This one in particular is modifying the flyer for the $50 kickback. So I'm on pickmonkey.com. So what you want to do in this case, we're going to take an existing flyer and we're going to edit it. So we're going to click on the edit button. It'll prompt you to upload your picture that you want to use. So I'm going to go to my picture file. My computer's moving slow. Come on, come on. And I'm going to upload the photo for the $99 special. So here it is here. Now, once this flyer has uploaded, again, I want to encourage you to become familiar with the tools on PicMonkey. This is taking me quite a long time to do, but I've clicked on the magic wand, as I like to call it, and there's all kinds of selections here. I came to know this program by simply clicking on it and seeing what it does. Once you see what it does, then play with these selections and see how you can make it your own, cancel and or apply. So again, you can take this program and do a lot of things with it. So I'm going to go down to the pencils because there's a lot that you can do with the pencils. The first thing that we want to do is cross out the $99. Well, this is too big, isn't it? If we made an X like that. So what we want to do is come in and cancel. We're going to hit the tools, but now we're going to reduce the size, modify the color, and come in and draw the X. Too simple, right? And again, you can do this however you want. I'm just showing you how I did it. Now you can come into the fonts, click the font that you want. Once you select it, hit add text. And then your text box and your palette, this is your palette, will show up. So now to add the text, you have to double click inside the box and let's type in the text that we want. So now that we have that, I want to show you, if you click out of the box, it's just as so. If you click on the box, it'll highlight, but you still can't do anything to it. You have to double click, highlight, and now first things first, let's make this a bit bigger. So there's my $50. Now let's change the color to whatever color you see fitting. All right. So if you look at it now, this is just a regular $50, but I wanted to add some effects. As soon as you add this button, you're going to notice that right off the bat, there is a black outline that has appeared. Okay. If you want to increase that black outline, you can simply come over here and increase the distance. And so you can see now that the black outline is a little bit bigger. If I wanted to change the color on that outline, I could come in, change the background color, and so I saw something that I liked, and then from that point, voila. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stick with black. Next thing is position it. In order to move this, you have to have the 4 arrows, and the 4 arrows will allow you to move this anywhere you want to move it on the flyer. Okay, you can also make it bigger by just pulling on the outer edges to make it bigger. All right. The next thing is you want to get rid of this stuff here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my pencils with the magic wand, click on the pencils, and I'm going to select this Doppler selection here and come to the point that I want to color or copy. So I want to copy this color here. So now I'll hit my mouse and I can take that same color and get rid of all this. What I'm going to do is make my brush size even bigger, come back and get rid of all of that background stuff. Now, every so often you want to release the mouse button as you're dragging, so that way if you make a mistake, you don't have to start all the way back over. So I'm trying to get as close to the edge as I can. Okay, so you see where I made the mistake? It's all wobbly right there. So I'm just going to come and hit the back button, and it went back to the last time that I released my mouse. All right. So now that that's done, I'm going to hit apply, right? Now I want to come in here and I want to add a picture of someone. So click on the picture. I'm sorry, I went too fast. click on the butterfly symbol here, and there are all kinds of overlays is what they're called that you can add. If I wanted to add some smoke and fire to um, my picture, I could do that. This is a flaming hot deal. Take advantage of it now. All right, let's say I don't want it. Click on it, get rid of it. But in this case, we want to add an overlay, but we want to add our own. So click your own, and then you want to add the photo. So in this case, I'm going to use Miss Kiana, who's one of Miss Tia's direct partners. So Kiana has a background. We want to get rid of that. Notice that the four corners are highlighted here on the screen. So what you want to do is come over to your overlay palette and you want to click on the symbol that says erase. Now, you see how small this is? We want to make that a little bit bigger. Now, if we keep our and all I'm doing is holding down my mouse, okay? If we keep this hard, the eraser hard, as soon as we make an adjustment, it's always going to be hard, is the best way I can describe it. But what you want to do sometimes is release the hardness, minimize it, so that way you have a little bit more room to play. So that choice is up to you. So let me go back. In this particular case, I don't want it to be as hard because I don't want it to be mystifying. And I'm going to get rid of the big sections of this first by simply holding down my mouse. And all it's doing is erasing the background of the photo. So I'm going to get as close as I can with this big size here. And then I'll come in with my eraser size, make it a little bit smaller, and I'm going to go in closer to her. Don't forget to release the mouse from time to time, so that way if you have an accident, you can go back. So let me go over here to this side. Release my mouse, come back. Same thing on this side. I'm going to get as close as I can to her. Release my mouse. Try again. Now, you can see that I kind of bit off a little portion of her shoulder. I'm going to show you how to correct that. To correct what you accidentally did, click on the paintbrush eraser and go back to that area and put it back, right? So I'm going to click on the eraser again. I'm coming up here, getting rid of some of this. So this isn't perfect, but it's enough to give you an example of how to do it. So now I'm done with that. I'm going to click off and away from her picture. Now I want to resize it. So I'm going to click on it one more time. So I get those four corners. I'm going to pull her over to the side. Now that I have moved her, I can see where I need to come in with the eraser a little bit more. But what I'm not going to do today is I'm not going to try and make this perfect. I just want you guys to get the general idea of how to do it yourself. Remember that I've been working with PicMonkey for a while. So this isn't something that you're going to automatically get overnight. But unlike you, I didn't have anyone to teach me. I had two girls that were working for me, creating all my flyers. And one day they decided they weren't going to come back to work, ever. So I had a couple events that I needed to have done. So I needed to figure out how to do it myself. So there's Kiana. Here's a cool trick I'll throw in there. If you wanted to change her positioning, you can just hit this button here. And now I can position her to the opposite side, whichever one is going to work best. And we haven't seen too many on that side, so I'm going to try it. Let's see. Maybe I want to do her red. All right. Now to duplicate text, sometimes you might want to duplicate some stuff. So let me move this over. What you can do is right click and you can hit the duplicate text. And so in this instance, I want to keep the same font, but I want to add the 95 cents to it. So now that I added that, I'll go back and highlight it. and reduce the size. So now it's 99.95, and I'm going to add the words kickback. If you're doing the kickback, you want to send them to our team website, have them complete the 10 steps within a certain amount of days. And if they do that, you can, instead of coming out of your own pocket, you can give them the kickback, which is whenever you get the commission, you kick it back to them. All right, so that keeps this particular special out of your pocket. So I'm going to change that because you can't really see it. And sometimes what I do is I just kind of scroll over until I find something that I like. So I just clicked off of there, and that way I can scroll and see what color I like. Wow, I kind of like this. All right, so now I'm going to come over to the edges because I want to make this small. And I can make it small this way, or I can click in here, highlight, and reduce the size over here. So a couple different ways to change the size. All right, so I did all this work only to find out I chose a picture that was cut off at the top, but again, you get the gist here. If I wanted to come in and add some font, I just click on the font that I want, click the add text. Your text box will come up, so will your palette, and add the text. All right, so let's recap. I've added the text. I can come back in and reduce the size of the text. I can also, while this box is highlighted, I can also choose a color or slide the color over until I find the color that I like. Once I find something that I like, I can immediately add effects to it. Find a color that you like, Mesha. Jeez. Immediately add effects to it by clicking on the effects button here. It'll automatically default to black, but if I want the shadow to stand out, I can come back here and pick a color that I like. Here we go with the choices again. So for the purposes of now, I'm going to just pick this red color, whatever. All right, I can increase the distance to make it stand out more. I can increase the intensity. Again, if you play with this, you'll find a lot of things that you like, some things that you don't like. All right, I can make it stand out that way, the vertical blur, whatever. So that's it for now. I just wanted to make sure you know how to do this. Also in the options, you can center your text. You can do right to left, left to right, etc. So I'm going to center it here and call it a day. Best of luck to you. Be sure to subscribe to the page, and I wish you all the best of luck with this. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to reach out to myself or to your mentor. This is Tamisha Rogers. My number is 470-295-9797. Save your work, rename it, and voila.